Namaste. Today we are going to study a new chapter, Liquidators Final Statement of Accounts. So, what is liquidation? Liquidation means it is winding up of company. Liquidation is a process of closing a company. So, it is a process of closing a company. Assets are then sold and distributed in order of priority. So, when you are closing the company, what will you do? You'll sell all your assets, and whatever funds you get, that will be distributed. So, how do you distribute it? In order of priority. Who has to be paid first? That person has to be paid first. So, who is liquidator? The person who is in charge of this liquidation is considered as liquidator, right? Okay, what is his task? The liquidator's task is to realize the assets. Realize assets means he has to sell the assets and disperse the amount among those who have a rightful claim to it. So, who is eligible to get that amount? Those people should be given the amount. So, he has to distribute in the same way. Here, the liquidator has to prepare a statement. So, he has to prepare a statement showing how much he realized and how the amount was distributed. Right? So, he has to prepare a statement which shows how he got that much amount by selling all the assets and by using other means, and how he distributed the amount. See, this is a statement that you have to prepare. Only thing you have to do in this chapter is preparing this statement. Very easy, right? Yes, it is easy. You should know only few things, do's and don'ts. That's it. If you understand this much, you can work out any type of problem. So it is very easy one. You have to write the company name XYZ Limited, liquidator's final statement of account, then debit side. So this is the receipt side and this is the payment side. So receipt side, how he got the cash, okay, how much funds that he collected. So first thing what he is supposed to do is assets realized. So here cash in hand and cash at bank you have to write, because whatever cash is there in the business that he uses, that he distributes finally, right? So this two things you have to write first. Then sale of free assets. What is free asset? The asset which is not pledged. Pledged means what? See, whenever you are getting the loan from a person or a creditor, so you are guaranteeing him by keeping your asset as a pledge. So you'll say, okay, if I don't pay, you sell my asset and you get the money. So that is, called pledging. So there are certain assets which are not pledged. So those are considered as free assets. So if you are selling the free assets, you have to write here. Then surplus from assets given as securities to secured creditors. I told you, secured creditors are those who got the right over the assets. Okay. See, for example, just imagine surplus. How do we get the surplus? Just imagine we have to pay a creditor rupees 50,000. Okay. But we have kept an asset. When we sell that asset as a pledge, we got 70,000. Now we have to pay only 50,000 to the creditor. So what happens remaining 20,000? So 20,000 is considered as the surplus. Correct? So here you are writing 20,000. Here you have to write 20,000. That is called the surplus. Clear? Okay. Now you should understand why this is being made, because we are getting only the surplus amount from the pledged assets. Okay, we have to consider. Usually, we are considering as the pledged assets are sold by the creditors themselves, and whatever extra money is there, they are going to give us. So we collected that amount also, right? From free assets we got. If we get any extra things from the pledged assets, that also surplus we have to write. The third one is unpaid calls at the commencement of winding up. So if there are any unpaid calls, Okay, that we have to write. Amount received from calls on partly paid sheets. So if there are calls in arrears or whatever, so we are collecting all that because we are going to close down the company. So whatever amount that we have to receive, we are writing here. So these are the receipts. And what are the payments? This is very important. So this should be in the same order. You can't pay the shareholders first and pay legal charges last. No. So one by one, you should know the order. The first one, legal charges connected with liquidation. So legal charges. Second one, other expenses of liquidation. Then liquidator's remuneration. Here liquidator's salary, liquidator's commission. Clear? The first one, legal charges of liquidation, expenses of liquidation, liquidator's remuneration. These three things related to liquidator or liquidation. After that, then we have to make the payment to debenture holders or creditors secured by floating charge on assets. Here this means what? We haven't given any asset as this is a pledge, but we have the responsibility of paying them back. If we are unable to pay, we have to sell our assets and we have to pay. Though we don't have the direct right given to them. Okay, so here debenture holders we have to pay. Creditors secured by the floating charge on the asset we have to pay. If there are any outstanding interest, we have to add for this. Then comes overriding preferential creditors, then preferential creditors, then unsecured creditors. Okay, then after paying this much, if there is any cash which remains, then we have to pay to shareholders. So usually first we are paying to the preference shareholders. Okay, if there are any dividends in arrears, we have to add and we have to pay. Then finally equity shareholders. So here the thing is like first we have to start from the number, like first one, until how much it is possible that much we have to pay. So just imagine only debentures we can pay. Okay, here there is 1 lakh we got, and here while paying them no debenture it is 1 lakh. So we don't need to pay. We need not pay because there is no fund left. So we are not going to pay this, right? We are going to close it. So in that case, the shareholders will suffer, and unsecured creditors, all these people will suffer. Okay, one of the important thing in the liquidator's final statement preparation is liquidator's commission. Okay, here I'm not going to explain everything. So while doing the problem, I'll explain because you should not feel burdened. Simple thing you should understand. See, commission. Why commission is paid? These creditors, they think, okay, so if we are going to get our amount, we are going to pay you the commission because it is unsecured, right? Fine. So what happens here? Commission on preferential unsecured creditors. So commission, usually commission is equal to total amount paid into rate of commission. For example, we have paid the creditors 10 lakh. Rate of commission is 1%. So it is 1 lakh commission. Clear? But it's very simple. So this applies to everything. There are only two things which are those. The one is when there is sufficient amount of cash, when there is deficiency. See, when there is deficiency. When there is sufficient amount of cash, that means we have the cash to pay, then we can use this formula. Commission is equal to total amount paid into rate of commission. In case if we have the deficiency, that means the amount available for paying unsecured creditors is less than the required amount. That means now we have to pay them 1 lakh, but we have only 80,000. That means what? We got the deficiency. Clear? So in that case, commission should be calculated by using this formula. Commission is equal to percentage of commission divided by 100 plus percentage of the commission into amount of cash available. Why is it this? because commission is included in the amount, right? So as we have less amount with us to pay them, even our commission should be deducted from the amount. So this one. So only two things are there. You should remember. One is direct when there is surplus. In the case of surplus, amount into rate of commission. When there is deficiency or deficit, for example, if it is 1%, okay, amount of cash payable is 1 lakh. So 1 lakh into 1 divided by 101. Here it is 1 lakh into 1 divided by 100. That's it. So in the case of surplus, direct. In the case of deficiency, percentage divided by 100 plus percentage. Is it clear? Okay. So study this much, and in the next class we are going to work out the problems. While working out the problems, I'll explain you how each and every problem will be having different types of commission calculation. So I'll explain then and there itself. Thank you.